All right, welcome back, fans, here on the Nation Network. We are going to kick this thing off. It's going to be an open mic event. Subject on my mind is NWA Hollywood is on the rise, guys. If you haven't seen this, you need to check out YouTube and take a look at the series of YouTube videos posted by NWA Wrestling, now of course owned by Billy Corgan, Smashing Pumpkins frontman. Everybody probably knows the history of what's gone down there. He was of course one of the owners of TNA Wrestling. That all fell apart very quickly. He got his money out, walked away with it, and then went and bought NWA, which is now rejoining NWA Hollywood. They've gotten back on good terms, and there's a series of videos that he has produced and put out on the YouTube channel called 10 Pounds of Gold, all hyping this big match coming up this weekend in NWA Hollywood between Tim Storm and a gentleman we knew over in TNA by a different name. It's going to be, the way they're building this thing is really good. It's solid, it's old school style, and they're making it about the history and the legacy of the NWA and the NWA Championship, hence 10 Pounds of Gold. So I encourage you to check that out if you haven't already. I still haven't heard 100% for sure if they're live streaming this big event on the weekend. They should, because they're doing a great job promoting it, and they're going to have to give a lot of stuff away for free to rebuild their credibility and a buy rate up at some point in time if they do move into some sort of a paid service. So anything's open for discussion right now. I have some work to do here. I'm going to add someone to the roster, and feel free to guess who it is as it starts. I don't use the face scans anymore. I've just found that they're not good. They end up reflecting badly in the light. 2K hasn't figured out how to do the color saturation right, and I would rather go with something that looks really good than something that looks like a photograph that's shiny and stupid looking. So I only see maybe 2 or 3 ever turn out well, and for those kind of statistics, they all look good in the creation studio, don't get me wrong, but then when you put them into an actual game's environment, it's a totally different look. So, like I said, anything's open for discussion right now, wrestling related. NWA Hollywood is on my mind. I'm really looking forward to seeing. I liked NWA Hollywood way back. I'll tell you, way back when the Young Bucks were nobody, and that's where they were wrestling, and hardly anyone ever heard of them. And I say, these guys are really good. And there was another team back then that they were competing against. It was kind of their version of Demolition and the Road Warriors. And for the life of me, I can't right now remember what name that team had. They were also a pretty legit, big, power team. They didn't go anywhere, though, and I think one of the members had some real issues. Yeah, Tim, if you have not seen NWA Hollywood, they've been around for a little while. Actually, a long while. And it was good for a while there, then it got not so good, and they had, what's that sleaze's name? He had a run there in TNA as well. He's one of those guys that went on their competition to win a contract thing, whatever mess that was they had. Oh, Joey Ryan, there you go. Yeah, Joey Ryan was in it for a bit. But Billy Corgan, man, like I said, check out those videos on YouTube he posted about 10 Pounds of Gold. It's good. Well, it's not a matter of killing NWA. NWA killed NWA. Wait a minute, I'm not completely full. What are you talking about? I know I've got slots open. Something seriously wrong here. Hold on a minute. Really been done Ric Flair's alternate attire yet. Are you serious? Look at that. Matt Stryker was doing the Del Rio stuff. Del Rey, excuse me, Del Rey. Ultimate Lucha. Although he might have done that before. Now that you're mentioning it, yeah, it's possible. It's been so long since I've seen Hollywood. I was watching it online. That was about the only way you could see it. They did actually have some local TV for a real hot minute at obscure times of day as usual. Alright, apparently I have filled up too many slots, so I'm going to need to make room one way or another. Because I got some other stuff that's got to happen here. Oh, it's decisions making time. Yeah, I really didn't think I'd filled everything up yet. Yeah, I did have the Moondogs, I forgot about that. I wonder if I want to hang on to them or not. Theo, where are you at? What part of the country? I gotta tell you, I actually liked Ultimate Lucha. I find that a pretty good program. I don't watch it as often as I used to, but I still liked it. Yeah, Stan Hansen, probably the stiffest worker in the history of wrestling. Alright, well that explains why you're getting it. But at the same time, if it's still a televised show, that means it's got to be on YouTube channel. So I might have to go back and do some catching up on that product, because again, I love it. And I'm loving that Corgan's doing it the way he's doing it. It just looks like it's got a lot of potential. Well, I kind of knew Kyrie was going to have to go eventually, so... Oh, God, I forgot, man. With this stupid thing, you have to actually go through the universe modes and delete them. Let's see. I was going to do something for Thanksgiving with that, but I don't think I'm going to now. Let me see. I'll hang on to them a little longer. I only need one slot at this moment. I was going to do something with her too, but nah. I saw somebody did a Brooke Hogan that I thought looked pretty cool and unique, and I had an idea for Glow, but then when I downloaded it, the face scan didn't stick because there's a lot of problems still with THQ. See? 2K, THQ, pretty much the same, they both suck. A lot of times you download content from people and then all of a sudden parts of the images that they had put up as part of it don't go with the work. So you like miss face scans and things like that. Yeah, we had it in Florida. Again, it was kind of like what Theo was saying. It was like a Saturday afternoon show. But that was a while back, man. Alright, so I'm still going to need a Ric Flair as well. I haven't gotten around doing his yet. Well, I guess I really am done. I'm going to get Gobbledygooker out of there in the near future. I wanted to use him as part of the Royal Rumble for something, but we'll see. And I knew I wasn't going to keep Kyrie too long, but I just thought the work was so good I wanted to have it. And never got around to using her in Glow. So let me go first start off by getting her out of there. Got to remove her from the roster. I won't be able to see it live. I'll be at work, but well, actually, wait, when is it? It's coming up, I know that, but I'm off the week of the 14th. Maybe I will be home. Is it a week from Sunday by any chance? Or Saturday, I guess, technically for them. Oh, if it is, that's perfect, because yes, I'll be watching that. I've got to see if they screw it up or do it right. Yeah, man, I'm going to be off. I'll be watching, no doubt. I mean, all the pressure is going to be on for 2K to somehow come up with the War Games for 2K18, and I'm like, man, these guys can't get it right with one ring. Can you imagine the glitches that we will see if they have a 2-ring event? Because you figure if they do it, if 2K puts it in there, they're not going to do it just for War Games. They're going to do it for War Games. They'll make like a 2-ring battle royal of some crap. And it'll all just be a glitch fest. Yeah, dude, I'm totally off. I'm watching that. Well, here's the thing, Theo. You're right. No one's ever done a 2-ring video game. You're right. Where do you go from where they've already been? I mean, you know, this year, the biggest roster in history. You can only do that so much before people don't care so much, because the biggest roster in history this year isn't all that impressive. So if you're going to turn it up to the next level, you almost have to do something as extraordinary as put a 2-ring event like a War Games, Battle Royals, whatever you can string together with it. It's almost necessary. You know, I talked in past streams about there's only so much you can do with this product because the product doesn't change but so much. And it's the same as Madden football. Football is football. It's still a 10-yard game. It's still a 100-yard field. It's still throwing, passing, and running and blocking. What, you make it look a little bit more realistic. The sun, gleams off the camera lens a little bit better this year than last year. There's a little better look at the rain falling off the shoulder pads. It's football. So this is an opportunity to go where no one's gone before. And then, yeah, you have something that you can really throw out there. And tell me right now who is not buying the game if they have a 2-ring Battle Royal or a 2-ring War Games option. Everyone's getting it. So it's almost that they haven't got a choice. But I also think a lot of it will be determined on how it turns out, meaning the event on Saturday. All right, Kyrie, sorry about that, but did I already get rid of Brooke? I think I did. It's amazing how quickly you can fill up 100 slots.
I know I'm sexy. I've got the look. They try to go wild. I've got the move. They really move.
Now wait a minute. Did you ever hear me say they weren't going to have glitches? Of course they're going to have glitches. I just said they're going to have 2 rings. Like I said, they can't get it right with 1 ring, so it's just going to be entertaining as all shit to see what they do with 2. You're going to throw a guy off the Irish whip him into the ropes, he's going to spring into the next ring. Alright, let's get back to here. Kyrie's got to go. I got to make room for another Ric Flair attire. And then I'll still end up with the gobbledygooker leaving soon. really like Tessa Blanchard, man. Wish they'd have done more with her in that tournament. Since WrestleMania goes to New York every time. That's home. That's where they're gonna go. Yeah, Aaron, I played Fire Pro back on the PS3 console, and I enjoyed it. I got quite into it, to be honest with you. Actually, I think is it on this channel or my old channel? I don't remember. It's probably on my old channel, which it's still up there. But I did a whole season where I left the WWA franchise because I think it was a THQ had it back then at this point, and the game was just so friggin' horrible I wasn't going to buy it that year. And I didn't, which was the only year I didn't buy it. But that was the year I did find Fire Pro, and I did like it a lot. And I tried running a show similar to this with it. Fans weren't into it. You know, the people that watch our programming here on the Nation Network, they didn't dig it, and not the way I did anyway. So I did the one season run with it, had a little bit of fun, and I get it. It doesn't look realistic. And I know there's a PS4 version eventually coming out. For whatever reason, they're dragging their ass about it. I'm on the fence whether or not I'll get it. I don't know. We'll see. I did enjoy it, though. No, man, I'm telling you, Timmy. It's Vince McMahon, it's New York, man. He's got a boner for New York. You can't blame him. I mean, that's the home of WrestleMania, so I would be surprised, but never say never. But if he's going northeast, I think he's going to New York. Did I get rid of Kyrie already? Yeah, I did. Okay. Alright, so we're good. Now we're going to get to the live build. Well, you got to remember something. When they go to Philly or New York, it's the same market. I mean, if you think they're going to go to, New York, New Jersey, Philly fans are going to go. That's close enough. And if they go to Philly, the New York, New Jersey fans are going to go. It's close enough. So it's not changing the base whatsoever. And then you're always going to bring fans in from around the globe to whichever city you choose. So whether they go Philly or New York will not change the demographic at all. But again, Vince has that boner for New York. He wants that, the biggest city in the world and all that stuff. He wants that on there. All right, it's time to play everyone's favorite game, Guess the Superstar. I think this time what I'm going to do is give you guys some clues as to who the superstar is as we start to go here. Because I'm a nice guy like that. So, let's see, how am I going to do this? Let me start by, oops, go that way. This way I can go back and forth here. Gotta be careful what kind of clues I give away because it'd be real easy to get this one right. Let's see.
Man, pimpin' AD.
All right, first clue, this superstar started his wrestling career in 1983. Well, I'm not saying y'all don't deserve it. I'm just saying Vince and his logic. He loves his New York, man. Yeah, I think, honestly, I wouldn't be at all shocked to see Yankee Stadium. If you're going to go New York, first off, they haven't been to New York. Let's start that way, okay? They've been to New Jersey. Whoever decided way back in the day to put New York, New Jersey together, it's not. It never has been. It never will be. The New Jersey Giants and the New Jersey Jets play in New Jersey. They don't play in New York. That's why they don't get ticker tape parades in New York. So I can totally see Yankee Stadium, and I think that would be a good idea. You definitely have a shot. I'm not taking that away. I'm just saying, we'll see. And it won't be all that much longer until we see. Yeah, before I get too deep into this thing, I should probably take a quick look. See if there's a template that'll be a good fit. Well, Steinbrenners don't own Yankee Stadium. And WrestleMania is going to be in March and April, so it's not like there's any baseball happening. Oklahoma, nah. Yeah, but Brooklyn's not a stadium, it's an arena. We'll see. I mean, honestly, I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm not going up north to watch WrestleMania. The only time I'll ever go to see WrestleMania is when it's here in Florida, and even then, only if it's in Central Florida. I wouldn't drive to Miami.
Trust me, trust me, trust me, trust me, trust me.
All right, another clue for the wrestler I am building at the moment. His career began in 1983. That was the first clue. It began in championship wrestling from Florida. That's your second clue, which kind of should be an obvious thing since that's one of the seasons I'm focusing on. The Hall of Fame is good. I gotta tell you, I didn't go to the wrestling convention because when I was looking at the tickets and what you were guaranteed with them, which was pretty limited, unless you bought like a VIP pass for a certain superstar. Yeah, it just they were real short sessions. So I just wasn't real impressed with it, and I didn't end up spending my money on it. Yeah, I would not hold on to that Oklahoma dream, baby. I'm sorry. Everybody's got to have a dream, man. That's all I can say. Yeah, see, that's gonna be the whole problem with everything. Is New York does fit so many different aspects of what WrestleMania is supposed to be. I mean, let's start with the fact that it's WrestleMania history all by itself. Personally, I'm of the opinion they should have stuck with doing WrestleMania in New York every 10 years. That was kind of a theme I thought we were going to see continue on, but then they went and botched that up. Alright, I think I'm good at this. Oh, I do need to work on the eyebrows. Alright, we're going to give you guys another clue here as to who it is. Oops, wrong button. That I am working on. Again, he started his career in 1983 in Championship Wrestling from Florida. 1985 to 86, he spent some time in Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling. Who is it we're doing? Who are we working on here? Yeah, that might be true about the WrestleMania 29 thing, but I mean, you're not competing with the Super Bowl. You never have, you never will. So, who gives a shit? The fact that every decade it was back in New York should mean more to you. Again, this is Billy Corgan logic. He's going off the history of his title, period. Fuck everybody else. I don't care about UFC. I don't care about WWF. I don't care about World Class and World Championship. I am only worried about the NWA and the history of this title with Harley Race and Terry Funk and Ric Flair and so forth and so on. He's doing it right, I'm telling you. This guy, as long as he's got the money to continue it and sustain it, I think he's going to have something in anywhere from 3 to 5 years that will justify everything he said with TNA when he left. Not that anyone with half a brain didn't know it was true already. I mean, TNA was dead 10 years ago. How they're still even a blip on the map is beyond me.
Things are exactly what they seem. I will define the things you dream. Cortex the chords again. I come out of perfect hand. They broke the law when they made me. Time to play the game. Time to play
Yeah, Dixie Carter, man, I'll tell you right now. Usually, when you're a parent, you only get to write off your child as a tax deduction or deductible, you know, while they're kids. Her dad gets to write her off for what, an extra couple of decades? Talk about a cost of living. But that's the thing, he's not going to compete with WWE. He doesn't have to. He's not doing what they're doing. He's doing wrestling. Old school wrestling. He's not in entertainment. He is as a musician. What he's promoting is wrestling. And when you watch those videos on YouTube for the 10 pounds of gold, that's it. They're not in character. They are, but they're not acting that way. You know, they are just acting as if this is a fight coming down this weekend and I'm not going to lose. And they're doing it in a very real way. It's just feeling good. And what I know about Tim Storm, I could fit in a thimble. I've seen clips of him here and there, and it looks like he's a pretty impressive guy. Get the feeling he's probably getting near the end of his career. He's probably in his 40s from the look of him. And I'm drawing a blank on the TNA name that his opponent ran under because I could not watch TNA. It was so horrible.
I know I'm sexy. I've got the look.
But I think you're going to start seeing guys like Cody Rhodes showing up over there eventually. And that's good. I just really think you're going to see... The cry has been there not just by the small group of people that we want wrestling to be wrestling again. And Vince will be reactive as always, because when Corgan starts really building momentum like ECW did, what Vince finally broke down, said, all right, let's get edgy. And he does have that monster of money behind him, but I don't know. I think he's let that horse get out the barn. I don't know that he can go back.
I make them beat like they're on cloud nine. I'm just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy. I'm just a sexy boy. If you ever take a trip down to Cobb County, Georgia, you better read the signs. Respect the law and order. You serve hard times. You've been serving hard times. You know the big boss man will make you walk the line. You better watch it, boy. You've been serving hard times. It carries a big stick, a ball and chain too. If looking for trouble, he'll be coming after you.
Oh, yeah, Magnus.
Hard times. You've been serving hard times. You know the big boss man will make you walk the line.
Yeah, like I said, I stop. I watch just because, you know, it's when somebody tells you these two trains are going to wreck, you'll watch it. You want to see a train wreck. So I watched when Hulk Hogan took over and he and Ric Flair were the main event on a live Monday show, and I'm like, how bad is this really going to be? And it was so much worse than I ever predicted. And then I tried to watch it again a little bit more recently when Corgan took over, thinking, all right, let's see, I'll give benefit of the doubt, maybe there'll be a change. And then we find out why there wasn't. The lockbox challenge. What was that other one where there was, I don't know if it was briefcases or what the bullshit was, and if you got the briefcase you were out of TNA. God damn. You guys, man. I think it was Feast or Famine or some stupid ass name like that. Now, I kind of like TNA when they first started and they were on Wednesday night pay-per-view for like $9. I have a bunch of that still on video, and I enjoyed that. Wait a minute, is Dixie still in any way, shape, or form tied to TNA? I thought she ended up having to sell it. Her dad said, F you, I'm done with you, bitch. Hard to keep up with a program you have absolutely no interest in. Feast or fire, there you go. Are you really a share owner if the company ain't worth shit? Let's see where we're at with this thing so far. Gotta tell you guys, not terribly bad. I'm kind of liking where this thing's heading. I gotta do something with the eyes here.
What the Rock is cooking. The Rock says, the Rock says. No, they don't have. I mean, well, they do, but not public. It's not like a traded company.
but they have investors is probably a better way to refer to it. Dixie's dad, of course, being the biggest of the bunch, but he knows his money's not coming home. Let me tell you something, man. You couldn't pay me enough to sit through their show. How in the hell are they still existing?
He's just a common man, working hard with his hands. He's just a common man, working hard for a man. Hey, he's American dream. Hey, he's American dream.
Yeah, I'm always going to wonder what would have happened if Paul Heyman would have gotten it at that time that he was being approached. I mean, she approached him about taking over the operational part of it so far as the booking and what have you. And he's not an idiot. And he's like, there's no way I'm pulling this off. This bitch is present. But I'm always going to wonder what would have happened if he would have got his hands on it where he could do his magic. We'll never know. And I guarantee he would not have gone extreme, because he's already done that, and he's already called everybody out and their mother, who's been trying to resurrect the dead. So I don't think for a moment he would have gone that direction. ECW had its day, and it was the best. I'm telling you right now, those were some of my favorite wrestling memories ever. But even if it didn't die then, it wouldn't be doing what it did then now, because tastes change, and I just don't think there would be the same market for it today as there was back then. Surfer Sandman. Yeah, what about that?
They try to push away, but when they see the smoke down the street, they ran the other way. Backstreet is let in the air. Backstreet in the whole USA. Backstreet, nasty and hot.
Yeah, they would have to adjust, and that's the thing that I'd be very curious to see. Because that's all that it ever was. You know, Paul Heyman, you know, we've all heard the story. Talks about how the music scene had changed and that they had to change with the times, and that's where he came up with the idea of the extreme style of wrestling. So things have changed again, and I'd just be curious to know if he still has his finger on the pulse and would be able to change with it with the same level of success he had in the past. One guy I would never bet against, Paul Heyman. And that is actually one of the arenas that I would hope to someday go to and watch a wrestling event. I mean, I wouldn't want to see any of that CZW crap, but if they had, like, if this NWA thing were to take off or something, for example, and end up doing a show there, I would want to be there and see that. Guys, I'm going to have to give some more secrets out on who we're creating here, because we're getting to that point where once I start getting into the hair and stuff, I think it's going to become a little bit more obvious. Although I've stumped a couple of you before. Let's see. So, again, started in 1983, Championship Wrestling from Florida. 1985 to 86, he was in the Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling area. He had a kayfabe broken arm in 1985. He had a kayfabe broken arm in 1985. I haven't seen a card of the, what is it, House of Hardcore, I think it's called, right? Yeah, there it is, House of Hardcore. I haven't seen a card. I just, for me, it feels like from what event, I've seen matches on YouTube and stuff like that. To me, it just seems like one of those Heroes of Hardcore reunion shows they did originally. It's over. You know, that's done. Bob Orton is a great guess, but incorrect. I already have the Bob Orton. Somebody else made it. It was amazing. I think that was from Tongueless, if I'm not mistaken. It's flawless, so I don't need another one. But that's actually a very good guess based on the clues that you've been given, although Bob Orton would have started his career prior to 85. Or 83, I think, was when... Hold on, let's go over all the clues again. I think 83 was the start of his career. 1983, the career began, which Orton would have been before that by a bit. And it began in Championship Wrestling from Florida. In 1985, he had a kayfabe broken arm. I cannot tell you by whom, otherwise that's almost a dead giveaway. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's still a hairline fracture, but they say it's getting better, so happy to hear he's healing up a little bit. This individual has also competed in the WWF, the Central States Wrestling, Universal Wrestling Federation, of course, World Championship Wrestling. And is currently semi-retired. Gorilla Monsoon with a win. Sam Houston. I was just about to give away some big ones by saying the arm was broken by the Horseman and that he has two famous siblings, Jake the Snake Roberts and Rockin' Robin. Tim with the victory. Yeah, Sam Houston's who we're working on. Good, now I can switch over to my pictures. I was running out of reference material. Black knee pads, yeah? Alright. Yeah, Sam Houston was always one of my favorites back in the day. I enjoyed watching him. I'll tell you right now, talk about underrated. If this guy's not underrated, I don't know who was. He had one of the greatest matches I ever saw, and I think it was on like Tuesday Night Titans or Tuesday Night Titans. That was the thing with Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon, right? On the Tuesday Night USA Network, where they would show you a bunch of the undercard matches from one of the major cities. So it was, I'm almost positive, Boston Garden. And it was the Big Boss Man against Sam Houston in what was one of the greatest matches I've watched in forever. It was perfectly done. That wasn't Tuesday Night Titans. What the hell was that show? Yeah, the Bulldog was a big thing. What was the Monsoon Gorilla? Or the Monsoon and Heenan show? Tuesday Night Titans, that was the Vince McMahon debacle. Yeah, and that's the other thing. They've had some other matches, I think even when he was Bubba Rogers, but those two had a chemistry, man. Oh my God, the matches they had were so good. But that one in particular from the Boston Garden, I just remember sitting there going, they need to make a real feud out of this. I mean, if they could put on a show like that on the undercard, and of course they never did because whatever. And at a point, it just gets frustrating to the point where you don't know what to even say anymore. What the hell was the name of the show? All-Star? No. Monsoon and Brain. What was their Tuesday night show called? Prime Time, thank you. Couldn't get that in my head for nothing. One of those things that would have kept me awake. I loved Prime Time, I'll tell you right now, man. Those two were gold together. If they're not the best tandem of all time in wrestling, I don't know. Can't think of any better. Patty Pie, what's up? Yeah, that show was just absolutely off the hook good. A lot of times the matches weren't so good, but you didn't care. You just want to stick around and hear the banter between those two. Where the hell's Dusty's boots at? There we go, finally. Wow. Yeah, I know I've mentioned before I had that kind of video library, but I just realized I'm not going to get around to seeing half of that again ever in my lifetime, so needed the space in my room. No, it doesn't get old. They got a bunch of those on the network now, right?
ready? Yeah, you think you can tell us what to do? You think you can tell us what to wear? You think that you're better?
Oops, wrong way.
Well, you better get ready. Bow to the masters. Break it down. The generation is just a big fool. We just got tired of doing what you told us to do. That's a right, boy. Yeah, that's a right, little man. Break it down.
Alright, now we gotta try and figure out what hair we're gonna use. Of course, the best one to use, they screw it up every year by putting that friggin' rooster gimmick into it.
Know who you're talking to?
We'll have to figure out some alternative here. I don't know what though. This is the one I was thinking about originally. I don't know if I'm gonna go with that or not, but I think we'll start with that as a launching pad. So he's had a couple of looks. Generally, he had the dark brown like this early on, but then he also kind of blonded it out a little bit. Meantime, let's see what other options. I think we'll bums have to sit with that one. Christmas '89 episode Heenan was hilarious in that. Okay. See how perfect that would be right there if you didn't have that freaking rooster. And I've seen people that'll just go ahead and go with the, you know, changing the red to the hair color, but it's like, nah, man, I ain't gonna do it. But right there, man, that's... They gotta fix this eventually. Come on, man. At least make it a turn on off option or something. That's a hairstyle that we should be able to use. That would almost work if it weren't so damn long. Remember back in the day where you could actually change the length of the hairstyle. I still can't believe I refer back happily to THQ. That's how bad 2K has been. Yeah, I'm getting a strong feeling I'm going to be stuck with that other hairstyle. Almost, but no. And by almost, I mean tolerable. Oh God, no. Damn, looks like Tully Blanchard now, doesn't it? Oh, that actually sounds familiar. I know I saw that. Oh, shoot. The problem with this is it's too high up on his forehead. It doesn't sit lower. I might use that as an alternate. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, I don't do NFL. I don't have a clue. I couldn't tell you who's in a winning situation right now. What's up, animals? I gave up on the NFL many, many years ago, long before Colin Kaepernick fucked it up for everybody. They did it to themselves a long time before that. They got like 25 different variations of the Ultimate Warrior's hairstyle. Yeah, the only sport I follow at all anymore is hockey, and even that's a lot less than I ever used to. I played hockey for over 20 years. I love the game. All athletes in particular, I could say go fuck yourselves, because when you start going on strike because $8 million and $10 million and $20 million is not enough to play a game, then I'm not going to have anything to do with that, you know. And unfortunately, a lot of people out there just, you know, the NBA, I remember when they went on strike and really stuck it to the fans, and then they finally ended the strike a year later, come back, and the fans went and bought tickets. And I'm like, you know what? You deserve it. Because if they would play in front of 1,000 people for the whole season, well, they're going to be renegotiating everyone's contract, and they're going to be playing for about $100,000 a year. And to play a basketball game or a baseball game, that's all you should be making. You're not curing cancer. You're not doing anything to contribute to society. You're playing a game. If you're making $250,000 a year to do that, that's fair. You're doing good. Living better than most of us. But $13 million a season? Friggin' A-Rod. How much was he paid? The guy couldn't play in October, ever. Alright, I guess I'm gonna go with this. Not happy about that.
American dream. He's just a common man, working hard with his hands. He's just a common man, working hard for the man.
Yeah, and that's the same logic I have with hockey. I've learned to like soccer a little bit more. Back in the day, they had the Major Indoor Soccer League, the MISL it was called. I don't know if any of you guys ever had a chance to check that out. But they basically took a ice rink. So in my case, where the Islanders would play in Nassau Coliseum, they would put the artificial turf on top of the ice. You still had the boards, you still had the glass, and then the goal was in the end board. It was built into the end board. So you would play, I think it was 5-on-5 as I recall. And the boards were live, the glass was live, so you'd be ricocheting that ball off the glass back out front. Goalkeepers were jumping everywhere. I forget the dimensions of the net. I think it was something like 6 feet high by maybe 10 across, somewhere in that ballpark. But that was fun, man. I enjoyed that. We had the New York Arrows. They won the MISL championship, I believe, 5 years in a row or something like that. They won it for a long time. Still remember a lot of the names of the guys on that team to this day. But I thoroughly enjoyed the Major Indoor Soccer League. Yeah, but why did they go on a lockout? The owners didn't just decide they didn't want to make money because the players are forcing the issue. And I blame both of them equally, by the way. It's just, if I'm getting paid $1 million to play hockey, you're not going to hear me bitch about shit. If the owners are making $100 million, they're the ones that created the environment for me to play in and make my $1 million. There's a level of greed, and I'm not saying owners aren't greedy. They are by nature. That's why they're owners. And you don't get to that level if you're not greedy. I think Michael Douglas summed it up best. Greed is good. It's what makes things happen. But when your whole income is based on people coming to pay money to see you, and it now becomes financially a burden and a strain for them to go see you because the ticket prices are way too high to go and bring their 2 kids with them, there's a problem with that. And it starts with ownership as well, but again, I'm out of all of it. I have nothing to do with it. I haven't gone to a live event in anything other than wrestling. And my argument always was when people would say, oh, you're a wrestling fan. Hey, they haven't gone on strike other than the kayfabe. And I'd say probably 85% of the ones that I've met have been incredible. They've been fun. They'll sign an autograph, take a picture. Yeah, and that was the thing for me. The last strike back in 07, 08-ish, and I think was it the NFL? Or maybe that was the NBA's. I think it was the NBA's, actually. Well, lockout, call it what you want to call it. They didn't play, okay? They stuck it to the fans. And I'm thinking to myself, assholes, people are losing their houses. And these are the people that buy your tickets and your merchandise. And you're turning around and telling them, sorry guys, can't play right now. 10 million ain't gonna cut it. I love what's happening to the NFL right now. I love the fact that their ratings are in the toilet. I love the fact that they're getting a financial hammering. They deserve every bit of it. And I always stood up for them because I said, if anyone's going on strike, it should be the NFL, because when these guys get done playing, they don't remember their kids' names anymore. I've always stuck up for them. But after what's been going on the last 2 years, nah, piss on all of you. You want to take a knee for the anthem? Fuck you. Go play in Russia. See how they pay you. See how that ruble goes. No, NHL did not. They went on strike prior to the economy. And by the way, how did that work out for them? They barely have a TV contract now, and maybe 70% of the country has access to it. They never came back from that. It is easy for me to get on my horse when it comes to this because I just find it so disgusting, and I get really angry with people when I see people I know, oh, I got my tickets for the game. I was like, what are you doing? It's like, why don't you understand you're part of the problem? If everybody would just go on strike from the game, every one of them, everybody just take a year off. You watch it on TV if you want, but everyone take a year off from going to the game. Say hi to your family. And watch how ticket prices change the next season. What's up, Gordy? Yeah, that's when I started giving up on them, Theo. That was the year Yankees were having a pretty good year. They were starting to heat up. They canceled it in the mid-season. And it looked like the Yankees were going to make another run at the World Series championship. And I'm like, all right, they'll be on strike for a week or two. They'll fix this. There's no way they're canceling the World fucking Series. And they did. I never watched baseball after that with one exception. I watched two exceptions. I watched when Cal Ripken broke the all-time record for most consecutive games because I thought that was an honorable thing. And if baseball was about nothing up until that canceling of the World Series for money, it was about honor and respect. And then I watched the Subway Series in 2000 when the Yankees played the Mets because in my entire life growing up, we never thought we'd see it. So I did watch that. Other than that, I have not watched any baseball whatsoever. Yeah, that would have been 94 because the Rangers ended up winning the Stanley Cup. And I thought, wow, the Yankees and Rangers could have won the same year. Oh, but yeah, that didn't happen. Yeah, that's right, old knuckleball. Well, you know what? I was a Yankee fan and a Met fan. Now I'm not a fan at all, so that's what the professional athletes do to you after a while. See, the hair actually looks pretty good when he's wearing the hat. I was already wondering if there's anything even close to it. I can't think of anything, but if anybody knows that, yeah, you can use so-and-so's entrance for that part, I'll go the distance. Yeah, no, the strike definitely hurt all across the board, but I don't lose sleep over it, man. They did it to themselves. They got what they deserved at the end of the day. They still didn't... I can't believe they didn't put the chaps in here that are in a generic form. You have to go with one of the Shawn Michaels sets. Yeah, that was a pretty entertaining event. I mean, I didn't watch it much at all, but I could hear, you know, you couldn't not turn a channel on the news and not know about what was going on with it. And that probably saved baseball because they did not come back from that strike very well. Up a little bit. What mania did his sister sing? Oh, damn. I'm gonna go, let's see. Wasn't 1, 2, or 3, 4 was the tournament. Shit. I'm gonna say 7 or 8. I feel like it was one of those two. Five, really? The Mega Powers explode and she sang the anthem for that? I thought they'd have done a better name for the anthem at that point still. Yeah, I mean, I don't remember her rendition. Well, I know she sang it. I remember her singing it. I don't remember her being particularly good.
Walk
Yeti? I don't know about that. Ever notice that there's always some lonely piece of shit that has nothing to do with his life? Yes, Venom, we're talking about you. Desperate little man. This is what happens when cousins have kids. And just like that, a piece of shit is gone.
It's all about the game, and how you play it. All about control, and if you can take it. All about your stand, if you can play it. It's all about me, who's gonna make it? I am the game, you don't wanna play me. I am control, no way you can shake me. I am heavy, get no way you can pay me. I am the pain, and I know you can't take me. Look over your shoulder, ready to run like a clean thing from a smoking gun. I am the game, and I make the rules, so move on out.
Now they're just lonely, and you know, no girls will ever touch their dick, so they gotta get on a live stream that has nothing to do with them whatsoever and just try and get some attention, I guess. I don't know. It's pretty sad. Ah, Stacy girl. I would really like to have his home address. I mean, if it would be worth the trip, I would just fuck with him a little bit. Just give him a scare of his life. That's a guy who needs an ass kicking like I've never seen before. Yeah, still waiting to see. I haven't found a good Terry Funk. I made one which is okay. I'm just not happy with the hair options again, and every so often somebody will come up with something where it's like, oh wow, I should have used that hair option. So I may end up going with it eventually, but right now I'm kind of holding, thinking something better is going to come out. Like even this neck scarf thing, I'm not a fan of that. I don't like the way it sits. I think it looks stupid. It's too flat.
You don't wanna be at. This ain't no home sweet home. It's home sweet misery. We knew when we got here. They tried to push us away. But when they see us walk down the street, they ran the other way.
Although I just got an idea. Let me see. We could try something here, see if this will work or not. Based on this photograph I'm using. Yeah, it really does. Look how flat that sits. Come on, man. But that might actually help out for what I'm going to try here. Yeah, I like it. I'll take it. It's better. Have to shore up those edges a little bit. Oh yeah. Terry Funk definitely had a shirt back in the day. They had a pretty good feud going. You know what? It's actually tolerable at least. Still sits too flat, but whatever. Nah, he's done wrestling now, man. You don't see him in the ring. Gotta admit, that looks better. Still not great, but better. So I might... I guess I'm not right now anyway, so let's go this way. Terry Funk was in a wrestling ring? Wrestling? I thought he had like no ability to hardly walk anymore. That's sad, man. I get it, but man, that's just sad. I wouldn't want to see it. I can't believe Lawler's doing it after the heart attack. It's like, enough, guys. Seriously. Yeah, do your Comic Cons, get your $50 or $20, whatever it is they get for autographs, but man, knock the shit off. God, that's ridiculous, guys. What the fuck? I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel bad when you hear guys in the industry saying, "Oh, The Wrestler wasn't an accurate movie," and it's, yeah, I'm sorry, yeah, it is, because here we have it.
in tune.
Think I'm cute. I know I'm sexy. I've got the look. The drive so good. While I've got the move. They really move 'em. I said chill. Up and down their spine. I'm just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy. I'm just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy. I make them hot. I make them shiver. Their knees get weak. Whenever I'm around, they see me walk. They hear me talk. I make them feel like they're on cloud nine. I'm just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy. I'm just
Well, if you think the movie's tough to watch, man, fucking Terry Funk in a wrestling ring's got to be horrible. Let me tell you, that was a good match. That was a really good match. They made me believe they were putting the belt on Lawler. That was really well done. And I still wish they had given it to him for a week. I thought Miz was a really solid champion. I thought he did a great job with that belt. I was there the night he won it in Orlando, cashed it in. We were going nuts.
coming to ya on a dusty road. Good loving, I've got a truckload. And when you get it, you got something. So don't worry, 'cause I'm coming. I'm a soul man. I'm a soul man. I'm a soul man. I'm a soul man. Got what I got the hard way, and I'll make this each and every day. So come on, don't you fret, 'cause you ain't seen nothing yet. I'm a soul man. I'm a soul man. Thanks, Steve. I'm a soul man. I'm a soul man. Ha! Listen, was brought up on the side street. Love, boy, I could eat. Now you educated, good stuff. But I've got loving, I just can't stop. I'm a soul man.
Yeah, I tell you what, He took that fall over the barricade, man. Didn't realize it in real time, but when you see it played back, it's like, that was horrible. My bad. Well, he got his payday.
Come get on the train. Pimpin' ain't easy.
Yeah, by that time, WrestleMania was starting to become Super Bowl, where you were either going to have a really good one, or, well, we've seen the others. Yeah, pretty much.
Man, pimpin' ain't easy.
I was watching WrestleMania's video on the pay-per-view debacle that was the Heroes of Wrestling. I know I have that somewhere. I really need to dust it off and watch it again. As absolutely horrible as it was, but... Alright, man, there we go. Sam Houston. Forgetting where they said he was from. Let's see. You know, as I was doing the research for the Sam Houston creation here and looking into Rock and Robin a little bit, didn't realize her backstory, man. She's had a rough life, that girl. That Grizzly Smith, man, he's a piece of shit. What, we don't have Waco, Texas in here, really? How about that? No Waco. Alright, well, it's gonna be Texas. Grizzly Smith ever served time at all for any of that shit he's done?
When we got here, they try to push us away. But when they see us walk down the street, they ran the other way. Backstreet is Backstreet in the whole USA.
Oh, the Bulldog. That's his finisher. We'll get him fired up, why not? Nope, can't say I've ever heard of him. I'll see if I can't find him. I'll take a look at it. Yeah, there it is. Doing stick with that pose, though. My thoughts on New Jack as what? I mean, has he done something recently I didn't hear about? Last I heard, he retired from wrestling. I think highly of that. Has he, like, murdered somebody in the last few weeks? I'd say he's probably overdue if he hasn't. Did he OD? I think he's a piece of shit. I'll never understand why Heyman even subjected himself to all the legal ramifications that come with having that kind of a scumbag under your banner, that you're now legally responsible for certain parts of his actions, whether you want to pretend you're not or whatever the case may be. He's not a wrestler. He never has been. He never will be. All he is a ghetto thug that fit a certain role that Paul Heyman wanted filled, and that's it. Nothing more. Safe to say you'll never see him entering the hallowed Hall of Fame. That doesn't mean he won't be entering a correctional facility in your nearby neighborhood. Well, he said he was retiring from wrestling, and I was like, well, let me know when you start wrestling so that I can see you retire. Yeah, mass transit. I got mixed on that, though. That fat asshole got what he deserved. He lied to get in, thought he was somebody, and decided it'd be a good idea to try and run an angle with New Jack. And it's like, well, I was thinking maybe we could do this, we could do that. It's like, you're meat. If you don't know your meat, then... And then to turn around and ask somebody like New Jack to blade you, you're an idiot. So he got everything he had coming. That fat bastard died already. He was just that fat couch potato that decided he was gonna, weasel his way into wrestling. That old saying, fake it till you make it. Well, I don't know if he ever made it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did Smoky Mountain prior to ECW, and I almost think it was based on a recommendation of some sort from there. And I could be wrong. I'm not 100% sure on that. I don't remember them being in USWA. That's interesting. Again, a lot of people took chances then because they already had a track record. Sam Houston was a smiling guy, but I don't know about that. We'll go with that one.
He's just a common man, working hard with his hands. He's just a common man.
Hey Dave, what's up, man? Yeah, that actually sounds somewhat familiar.
Hey, he's a man.
Forgot about D-Lo being hooked up in that mess.
Hey, he's a American dream. If you are black or white, really funky, that's alright.
25 years. Damn, we're getting old. Yeah, Theo, I'm gonna go with it.
I know I'm sexy. I've got the look. The drive so good. While I've got the move. Move. I said chill. Up and down that spine. I'm just a sexy boy.
All right, I think that's it. Sam Houston. Throw a moveset together. I think I'll probably give him Kendall's moveset. They pretty much have the same stuff.
I make the beat like they're on cloud nine. I'm just a sexy boy.
So apparently Rockin' Robin has a real estate company now. I think Baton Rouge or somewhere in there. She was one of the people who lost everything in Hurricane Katrina. Like I said, she's had a rough life, that girl. Sean, I'd be willing to bet you're not. Bob Backlund versus Jim Brunzell versus WCW NES Lex Luger. I don't recall the NES Lex Luger image. Sean, I got you beat, buddy. This is generally an older group in this chat session here. This open mic. I might have to end up tossing the Andre thing. I'm not using it that much anyway, but I need to open some slots. Alright, moveset. I need 4.
Man, pimpin' ain't easy.
Well, thanks, man. Drink a lot of water. Let's see, we're gonna go to normal edit. Yeah, we're gonna go to custom. Kendall and him have pretty much the exact same moveset. Get rid of that though. Does anybody know if there is like a taunt where he can do that little two-step shuffle thing? I don't recall ever seeing one. Just thinking here. Yeah, there's a lot of times they'll have a move in there, though it's not. It's kind of a generic thing, and I'm just trying to think if there's anything that's even remotely close to. I'm thinking maybe like a Santino Marella leftover or something like that, maybe. What's he under? Milan Miracle, I think now. Let's see. Yeah, that might be it right there. Nope, nothing. Yeah, every one of his kids was so much better than he ever was. What a sad statement, right? Yeah, I don't know how links work with this. You can try. Most valuable player. Yeah, I'm gonna probably say it's just not gonna happen. What about Tatanka? He might have something close. Nope.
Tell me what to do. Know who you're talking to.
Won't go through. It's alright, man. Alright, moveset's good. Last but not least, entrance. go advanced on this one. I don't like spending all that much time on it, but actually, I'll tell you what, let's go on the easy side here. I'm just going to throw the Tatanka entrance and see what it looks like, because if that in-ring part doesn't fit, then it doesn't matter. That's going to be the only one that's going to be remotely close. At least that I can think of. Do you even have to be on PlayStation 4 anymore to go into the community tab? I mean, you can download the apps and stuff on your phone. So, I mean, all you'd have to do is make an account, but you have to physically own a PlayStation 4 to do that. I might stick with it. I don't know. I mean, that's going to be the closest thing we get. It's not going to get any better than that. Yeah, but that's kind of not working. Doing my B plan. Test run here and see how everybody's feeling. And then we'll post it. Yeah, I've been crunching some numbers this last few days here. Let me pull this up here real quick. So I always base my programming direction on the numbers. So just looking at the past week here, I don't know what's going on with this thing. There we go. So a week ago we did the Glow Wrestling Tag Team Tournament. day one of the 2-day tournament has currently 146 views. The day two for the championship down to 112 views. Thought that was interesting. That's a week old. We go to 5 days ago, the LWF is at 244 views. Almost doubling it in less time. And the NWA is over 308 NWA Championship Wrestling for the past week. And even the AWA show from a couple of hours ago is already at 54. And again, those aren't enormous YouTube numbers, I get that, but I'm just saying based on proportion of my subscriptions. The Glow, I know, is always going to have lower ratings. I was a little surprised that it dropped off on the finals from the day one. And at the same time, I think about the bigger picture. What does that mean to women's wrestling? Because we all know that it's had its best year or two now. And what the ladies are doing is so above and beyond anything they've ever done before. They're getting opportunities they've never been given before. And I'm thinking, when I look at these kind of numbers, I'm going to be doing less Glow wrestling, obviously. But then I think, how does that equate to the real product? If there was ever a chance on the women getting a standalone show, and I do think they deserve it, I think it's gone right now, and it would be mostly because of the failure of 205. So I think the WWE's rolled the dice with 205. It's not doing well. And I think at the end of the day, I'll pick you up in a minute, Theo. I think at the end of the day, that's going to have a backlash effect, and I think that the women are going to pay that price. I think if 205 would have done well, then they might be wanting to roll the dice on the women. I think the women, if they did get a show on the network, it would probably do a lot better than 205, is my guess. So I'm still hoping that they do cross that bridge. I think it's the next natural order of progression. But we'll see. That's going to be one to see. But in my case, for my network and what I do, there'll be a lot less of it. Once every 5 weeks, give or take, somewhere in that ballpark. I like it. I still want to do it. But I also want stuff that's going to build the channel, and I don't see that happening with that particular program. Alright, let's rack this up. I'm going to let it simulate itself out. Put them in one of the WCW arenas, or when I say NWA arenas. I had a moment there, huh? Take a look at the Orange County. I have my Orange County arena up, but it's a weird thing. It wouldn't let me post the arena, but it would let me post the show. So if you go to my shows by going on to the, if you're a PlayStation 4 user, go to the community download tab and then do a search for hashtag One Nation, just the number one, the word nation altogether, and then go to shows. You'll see the Orange County Convention Center, and it's there, but I can't just upload the arena. Thank you, 2K. I'm guessing it's because I already made it part of a show, and then I just tried to upload the arena separately. So maybe if I would have just done the arena first, but it won't let it. Female Royal Rumble. That would be interesting. But I would still prefer to see them get their own show. Gotta say, the scarf actually doesn't look half bad after the tweaking. Yeah, Dave, I thought so too, for sure, but what are you gonna do? All right, let's see what happens. Speaking of The Miz. I know, man. I really thought when they started showing the gymnasium builds that you'd be able to put different logos on the banners, like make a high school, whatever your high school mascot is, so it's like your high school gym. I really thought that was going to happen, so a little bummed. I'm not going to lie. Have we ever heard anything about what happened with her, though? I'm wondering. I think something... I don't know. I get the feeling that she did something she probably shouldn't have did, or said something she shouldn't have said. I don't know. The whole Emelina thing was the writing in the sand. When she came out to Emelina and then did one match and then said that's the last time you'll ever see it, I'm like, something's really going wrong here. To spend that much time, money, doing promos, doing photo shoots, vignettes. And it wasn't like she followed up with some bitter resentment towards the authority or anything like that. It went nowhere. It just disappeared. And I knew that was not a good thing. Well, that's Tiger Mask's mask, but it's a jobber I created. Fictitious. Call him Shiva Zane. I was going to say, don't tell me he's going to get a pinfall without going for the Bulldog. Yeah, they finally put the Tiger Mask in there, though. I have seen a couple of good versions of him that people have created. Shiva, I don't like your odds, buddy. Sam Houston with a figure 4 win. Nicely done. Yeah, I'll tell you, it's... I mean, look, I don't think that started any revolution. I mean, I go back to AJ Lee's pipe bomb. That started it, in my opinion. Saving highlight reel crap yet. Maybe I will, I don't know.
Trust me.
Yeah, I've always said AJ Lee was the spark. She was the one that really stepped it up, played a major role, was a headline, you know, end of the night Raw moment, which women were not getting that spotlight. Camera faded to black on her. And damn, did she get over or what? Let's see, I need to change something here. Entrance. But I didn't realize by turning all those screen options off on his entrance, it would turn the screen off. So where I had the Orange County Convention Center solid wall, it turned that off during his entrance. So we gotta be more mindful of that now. There's another wrestler or two I did that to, and I don't know who. Here's what I'll say about the improvement. First off, there's several different styles of cages this year. You've got the blue bars, you can make the black bars, and then you got the old-fashioned steel cage itself with the chain link fence. What's good is that with Match Creator now you can make it a pinfall submission match. You don't have to escape the cage all the time. So I basically made several different match variations of cages based on theme. So we've got like the WWF days, so you have the blue cage with the escape to win, there's no pin, no submission. And then I've got the steel cage, the cyclone fence, chain link fence, where it's pinfall or submission, you cannot escape the cage. But the overall gameplay of the cage is pretty much the same. I'll say the AI will ram its opponents into the cage and use the cage a little bit more than they did in past years. Basically gonna turn all this shit back on. Because really my arenas already have all the stuff turned off I need off, so I don't need to worry about it with the wrestlers.
Come get on the train.
Wish I could remember which other one I did it to. At least one other one I did that to. Alright, the other one I need to fix is Ray Stevens. I have not updated his entrance. Thought I had. Yep, that was it, buddy. Told them how they couldn't lace up her Chuck Taylors and the crowd popped. There were moments where I got the feeling that the other ladies weren't aware of some of the things she was going to say. I have to presume the guys in the back knew, meaning Vince, Triple H, and whomever. But some of the reactions from the women made me think they didn't know she was going to go there. Yeah, I mean, between that promo and CM Punk's, those are the two legendaries. But, again, without that promo, you don't have the Women's Revolution. Watching the Total Divas episode from a week or so ago, where Maurice takes offense to Nia Jax asking her a simple question, which is a legitimate question, because, not for nothing, Maurice, most people don't know much of your career because you were not part of the Women's Revolution. You know, Trish Stratus and Lita maybe, and probably, to be fair. You know, Trish Stratus was the first one doing, I would say Lita was the first one doing dangerous moves in women's wrestling. And her and Trish had a great series of matches and feuds and all that good stuff. And that's as close as you were going to get to a women's revolution, because they were the only two that got enough time to tell a story in the ring, more than 5 minutes. But Maurice was never involved in a match or a feud of any kind. So to ask her Have you ever been in a gauntlet match when nowadays women are getting these first opportunities all the time now? First time ever to be in a Hell in a Cell, or first time ever to be in... It's a reasonable question, and to think that, well, she should know my entire history, you're an idiot. Because when you were wrestling, that was our time to go to the bathroom. You were our beer break. I've never been a Maurice fan. I've got to be straight up, man. I started liking her a little bit more recently, and then, I don't know. She gets too full of herself and thinks that, you know, what, it is what it is. Yeah, I mean, if you're wearing a butterfly belt around you, then you're not part of the revolution. Yeah, Mae Young was definitely a class all by herself, no doubt about that. Alright, what am I going to do with Ray the Cripple Stevens here? This could possibly work. There is a heel entrance, and I haven't figured out whose it is. It's probably somebody from NXT. Oh, that's not going to work. That I'm not particularly familiar with, because I stopped watching that a while back too. Who's this going to be? Oh, Mikey, never mind. Duke's up. That's not going to happen. Oh, I know, that's that schmuck. Dude, I just filled up my roster today. I got no slots left. But I've got more that I haven't debuted yet, and I'll be posting more as I open up another row. I'm sure this isn't going to work. Let me see. Moolah was a horrible person. I don't know. I don't recall hearing horrible stories about her. I mean, she's from a different generation of wrestling, so what'd she do to make herself horrible? Terrible, actually. I wish I could figure out what. I gotta figure out what heel entrance it was. I should have took note of it when I saw it. I was just messing around with different matches and stuff. I know it's not gonna be Curtis, but I'll take a look because he's changed up a little bit. Here's another waste of talent, man. Curtis Axel should definitely be doing a lot more than he's doing. Friggin' booking team over there. You'll put the title on Jinder fucking Mahal, but you won't put it on Curtis Axel. If I would have been booking for the WWE, let me tell you what. Joe Hennig would be wrestling with his name with a complete Shane Douglas gimmick. You know, the franchise, the whole thing. He would just be that arrogant, cocky, I'm carrying a company on my back guy. And how that's not going to get over is beyond me, because when you put the Intercontinental title on him on day one, fans sure as hell got behind that. Yeah, I know, which is a joke. He's not supposed to be a stablemate or a lackey. I never cared for Sandow, I gotta be honest. I thought he had zero charisma. I liked him when he was doing his little comedy shticks, but that's not gonna main event you. Yeah, Dave, man, I'm right there with you. I hate what they've done to him. I would like to see him leave now the way Cody did and go out there and be him. Guy, can you imagine him in ROH? Or fuck, go to NWA Hollywood, buddy. That's who needs to go. Go with Billy Corgan, man. Now, Aaron, that's a pretty bold statement. I've never heard that before, so... I mean, it's possible. Again, it was a different time. Maybe Kevin Spacey's dad was back in the wrestling business at the time. Yeah, but I'm telling you, you can't blame TNA. First off, WWE ruined him. And I don't know that you can even blame them. What did the guy offer? What did he bring? All right, so he goes to WWE. You fall under the whatever Vince sees you as, and you got to kind of deal with that. But then you go to the TNA. Well, we've seen plenty of guys jump to TNA and completely change their personas. Look at E3, and he actually did pretty well with it. So it's not like he didn't have an opportunity. He got an opportunity, and he still was boring as shit. He can wrestle, but it's like Jack Swagger. That's it. You can wrestle. Oh, this ought to... Oh, no. Well, let's see. What Buddy Roberts got going on? I would think he'd have a relatively normal entrance. And I'd be wrong. The Brian Kendrick. Oh, God, that's funny. Seeing Bo Dallas, I'll tell you what, when Bo Dallas and who we would later come to know as Bray Wyatt, Husky Harris, were in Florida Championship Wrestling before it turned to NXT, they were great, and in watching them, all I kept seeing was Barry Windham and Dusty Rhodes. I thought Husky had the whole Dusty feel to him, the vibe to him, and Bo completely had that mix between Barry Windham and Magnum TA. And had they used them in that way, both would be so much better off. And again, those are two other names where if they went to Billy Corgan and if he went with that old school style and did turn, you know, Husky or Bray, whatever they call him, into a more of a Dusty-esque character. And I'm not saying with all the lisp and the flamboyance and all that stuff out there, brother, but, you know, if he was just to kind of let him be a straight talking fat man who can fucking wrestle, it would explode. And I actually like the Bray Wyatt character, except for the fact that they buried him way too many times to be anything. And that title run was a joke. He should have had a run with that belt. Well, this is probably going to be a possible fit. Those LED posts are sacrilegious. Yeah, I think we'll just go with that. Music. I wish there was like a tab where it was just like the generic music and you don't have to go through everything else. So what does Wikipedia say exactly when it comes to that? Because again, I have not heard that. I find it something could be believable. You know, I wouldn't be shocked to find out that it's true. Well, that's just a less expensive way of them doing pyro. You know, you can do visual displays on an LED screen without spending a nickel. Starting to think none might be the answer here.
Have you got my money?
Yeah, I agree, man. One of my favorite things about watching old school wrestling, like from the Garden and stuff like that, is as soon as the bell rang, all the lights went down except over the ring. Because that's the story, that's the show. You barely even saw the audience at all. Maybe the first row or two. Everything else just faded into a black sea of noise. Which they might want to get back to that again soon anyway, just because the empty seats are kind of embarrassing. Oh, what's the latest I heard? Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn got sent home? Somebody done fucked the pooch up there, huh? I heard they said something during the promo that had to be edited out of the show, and it seems very awkward with the edit. Now, I don't mind using LED screens on the ramp, you know, on the stage area. I don't care about that. You know, you want to put some pyro off on those, you know, make it look like fireworks going off or lightning striking down or whatever the fuck you got to do. Whatever. That doesn't bother me. It's only 2 seconds. But when you start turning the ring posts into rolling advertisements and shit and the apron on the hard camera side of all things, so you can't go under there and pull out a chair or anything. Nah, that don't work. IW, man, I was talking about that earlier. You might not have been on, but 205 is dead. 205 is dead and buried and won't be around much longer is my prediction. I'd say by January it's done. So, no, Rockstar Spud and Hideo Itami. And first off, for them, that's your career. You know, Hideo Itami is going to be getting his best wishes letter. Shortly after, because once you go there, I mean, look what happened with Austin Aries. He did the right thing. He got out. Because he knew he's going to be gone. It's like, put me here, I'm off the main roster. I'm never going to get that opportunity. You know, even Neville, I mean, Neville was God on that show, and he said, fuck you, I'm out. Let me get Sam Houston uploaded here. Well, again, I mean, I'm not saying it's not possible, but anytime you're hearing from anyone other than the actual victim, it's hearsay, and I won't put a lot of weight on that. And I've had Wahoo up several times already, so I'm going to pull him for the moment. Yeah, what about it, man? We talked about that earlier, too, where I'm going to be curious to see how 2K tackles that for the next game, because they almost have to find a way to make it happen, and we've already seen they can't make it happen with a single ring, so I'll watch it next Saturday, and I hope they find a way to do it right. It sounds to me like I'm not expecting it to be done right. When you start doing more than 2 teams, it makes it awkward. But who knows, I could be wrong. I may end up turning around saying, wow, that was so much better than I thought it could have ever been. All right, Aaron, yeah, I'm going to be wrapping this thing up in a little bit, too. Yeah, I heard something, or I saw a still picture of Tony Schiavone on the network, and wasn't sure how that was all tying in. They were sent home because of a situation that happened after Zayn's match with Kofi. Yeah, alright, so I did hear something about that. That just rang a bell. There was supposed to have been a run-in, and Zayn and Kevin were supposed to get beat down. Only no one told them is their story. Nobody told them about it, so they didn't know it, and it didn't happen. But then there was still that edited out segment, so that just makes you kind of wonder a little bit. I don't know. WWE's really struggling at the moment, whether they want to admit it or not. You got a lot of unhappy people in the locker room, and I'll tell you what, an unhappy locker room is a former coach. I'll tell you, if you have an unhappy locker room, you do not have a successful team. Yeah, I mean, I cannot imagine those two guys not being on the show anymore for any reason or any length of time. Fans like both of them. I've never been a Kevin Owens fan, but that's okay. Right now, there's not much in WWE that I'm happy about or that I can say I'm a fan of. Alright, those are the current 10 names that I've got posted. The top row is not going to be going away at all. That just stays the way it is. Majority of the second row will be staying as it is. They're producing numbers. I know I'm having an uphill battle getting these last two slots unlocked simply because of my content. It's old school and there's less fans of this style of wrestling as opposed to, you know, if I had to turn around and made a more recent variation of any of the current day roster, which I think about doing once in a while just because I'll get a lot more hits that way and I'll open up those other slots faster, but not my thing. Let's see how this other stuff's doing. Road Warrior stuff, and it's doing a little bit of something, nothing major. Bad Street's doing pretty well actually, considering. So again, I tried to upload that arena and it wouldn't allow it. It doesn't even show that it's there. So if I go here for Orange County, for example, it doesn't show up. I have the Omni, but it doesn't show Orange County. Very strange. Well, it's 2K. What do you expect? The AWA America's title is available here. Again, it's not the exact replica of whatever belt they had because I honestly couldn't find anything for it. So I just took some of the ideas from other belts that we've seen in the past. It's actually one of the ones I'm most happy with that I created as an original. Here are the other couple that I did as originals. They never sell out travel packages this far in advance. But they're probably down overall. I wouldn't be surprised because the product's down overall. Eric, what's up, man? Yeah, Theo, that sounds pretty much what I heard. Same thing is, hey, you didn't tell us the fucking ending. What do you want us to do? But again, what does that say about the product? I mean, you think about the Monday Night Wars, what was the critique all the time? And by the way, if you want to get the Orange County Convention Center, this is where you'd get it. You download the show, and then you get the arena that way. So, I don't know why it's doing that, but it is. Same thing with the Bahamas arena that I put together. You look back to the Monday Night Wars and how that all went down. And you listen to the guys like Hall and Nash and all that, and the guys that jumped ship and doing these rise and fall videos, everybody says the same thing. It was totally in disarray. Nobody knew what was going on. The show was rewritten in the middle of the show. The broadcasters didn't know what they were commentating on, and all of a sudden something would happen, and you had a voice in their headset telling them this, that, and the other thing. Well, that sounds a whole lot like what's going on with the WWE right now. They're rewriting shows day of. Talent doesn't know what's going on an hour before the show. And in this case, they didn't know what was going on during the match. So I really think WWE is going, if you're a stockholder, sorry, they're reaching, I think, the end of the rope. I think they're going to take a pretty hard fall. And deservedly so. Deservedly so. They don't listen anymore to the fans, and this business is built on listening to your fans. They say they understand that, they say they listen. We know they don't, because they still have Roman Reigns shoved down our throats. Me too, Gorilla. Thanks, buddy. I'll catch up with you, Timmy. So anyway, I don't know. Well, once again, guys, I'm going to end it with what I started with, which is NWA Hollywood. I think their star is on the rise. If you've not checked them out, there's a lot of YouTube stuff that you can see for them. They do have some limited television, usually Saturday late afternoons. It's NWA Hollywood. Check your local listings. Get on YouTube. Take a look at a video series called 10 Pounds of Gold. Billy Corgan is the now owner of that organization. There is a little controversy around the fact that he may not actually own NWA, the logo or the namesake. There's a couple of different lawsuits now going on between NWA, the rap band. How they have that claim, I have no idea, because the NWA was around back in 1948, and I don't think they were rapping back then. But when it comes to legals, you gotta let the judges figure it out, I guess. The lawyers fight it out. However, there's a more interesting wrinkle that the WWE owns the NWA and the belt. Because if you go back in time, there was the NWA North American title defended on WWE, WWF at that time, champion or television, where I believe Chris Jericho won the title that night, and I forget who he took it from. And the WWF had to have the current owner at that time of the NWO, who Bob, God, what was his name? I think it was Bobby something or other. Anyway, he had to sign a document that basically allowed the WWF to use the NWA and its likeness and its belt. That as a result of what happened when they brought the WCW title over with Ric Flair, learning from mistakes. He was told by his lawyer, "Are you sure you want to sign this? Because it's an open-ended agreement. There is no expiration date." And he said, "Well, listen, at this point in time, we got no fucking product. At least if we get somehow linked into the WWF, we have something to claim, and our local house shows will go up, hopefully, and we'll get some more buy-in from other promotions." And that's exactly what happened. Their house shows did go up. Matter of fact, the WWE gave them level 2 and level 3 WWF talent to use on their shows, where they could then say, as seen on WWF, it was a win-win. Well, the problem is, it's an open-ended contract. There's no expiration. So the reality is, most people believe legally the WWE still owns the NWA. And what the fuck did Billy Corgan just buy? So that's to be determined. I think it's in the WWE's best interest to give it to him and let him be successful, because you need competition of any kind. Or if nothing else, another area for people to develop in outside of Orlando. Oh, the drama of it all. Yeah, Jarrett's been around a little bit, so I'm sure. So anyway, that's what I got to say. NWA Hollywood, I'm going to be getting into that more and more. I'm going to be watching more of it because I'm excited about how they're handling it and the direction they're going in. Let's see if I'm going to check my local listing, see if they still do broadcast it out here in Florida. In the meantime, guys, thank you for joining. It's been fun. 225 comments back and forth. Always enjoyable. And I'm going to try and do a little bit more of this as time allows. So you guys have a great rest of the day. I'll see you ringside real soon with more from the Nation Network. So long, everybody.